Oh, yeah. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 31 of the Sailor Jerry podcast. My name is Matt Cawthron. I am still your host. It is March 3rd, 2022, and Sailor Jerry Spiced Rum is still made the old school way. 92 proof, bold and smooth as hell. Man, oh man, the world is at war, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we are sending all of our energy out to the situation going on in the Ukraine right now. Nothing but love. Our thoughts are with the Ukrainian people. Really, all of Europe, man. Europe is connected, so it's a lot to digest on top of everything else that's been going on in the world lately. Shout out to all of our European friends. That's the toughest thing for me too, is, it's like you got to remember to separate the government from the people, Like I have some really great friends who are Russian and they're protesting the war and they're amazing human beings. You just don't want to see that lost. Hopefully peace is on the horizon, and who knows what's going to happen from here. Man, honestly, it could go so many different directions. So let's all just take a brief moment and visualize a positive, best case scenario type of ending over there, because the world doesn't need another spiral. You know what I'm talking about? We are just kind of getting through the global pandemic, and let's not go backwards. Nobody ever wants to go backwards. I think that's the crazy thing about what's happening right now, is you see the whole world reacting like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, it's crazy to see. It's pretty wild. And it's actually pretty impressive. I mean, it's like the lowest common denominator of like any sort of like global morality that we could have is like basically social media. But we'll take what we can get. You know what I mean? It's cool seeing clips all over the world about people in somewhat of a unified voice protesting the war, so that's been actually really, really refreshing to me, for what it's worth, to anyone out there listening. To all of our listeners, thank you so much for the support. We hope that this podcast can be a little bit of fresh air for all the bullshit that's going out in the world right now. So hopefully the Sailor Jerry podcast is a place where you can come and get a laugh, get some inspiration, and then go about your life. So thank you to everyone listening out there right now. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're on YouTube now. I'm looking right at the camera. We're on YouTube now, so you can find us there. Like, subscribe, follow, do all that stuff. It means a lot. Bronx got a tour coming up, June, July, summertime, the United States of America, doing 50 shows, 50 states, in 50 days. It's going to be horrible, if I'm being honest, because that is going to fuck your boy's body up. But it's going to be awesome at the same time. Frank Turner is a great musician, songwriter, and friend of the Bronx, and we're stoked to be out there with him. It's going to be a good time. So tickets are on sale for that now. Should you feel so inclined to experience the Bronx with Frank Turner, with a couple other bands, I know that there's Avail's joining some shows. I think Face to Face is on some shows. So it's going to be a really good time. It's cool to see touring like for real back You know, everyone's got plans for the road. You know, so it's exciting, and we're really excited about this summer. So be sure and grab some tickets for that. Other than that, it's time for episode 31. Dana Dentata is a force of nature. In this badass episode, we catch up with the innovative artist to discuss all things creative. From her early days in the Canadian underground to shaking up the music industry, being booked by Kanye West, and everything in between. Dana's incredible story of reclaiming her life through unapologetic art and music is truly inspiring. So put on something nice, pour yourself some Sailor Jerry, and let's go.
They tried to bury me 6 feet. I'm covered in the dirt. I know it's making you hate me, but you put me in a hurt. They wanna suck my blood, wanna keep me tame. From the palms of my hands is where I feel my pain. Been broken, been breaking, been busted down. Been tough as nails, take it all. Now I'm making a sound. Tried to walk on water, and I drowned. I tried to walk on water, and I drowned. Yeah, I think I...
Yo, what's up, Dana? How are you?
Good. I'm in my truck right now because the place I wanted to do this at was so loud. So enjoy my Tacoma.
Yeah, that's a good vibe. I like it.
I love trucks.
Yeah, I had a truck. I got a rear-ended like 3 or 4 years ago and smashed the whole thing. I was devastated. I was so bummed. Where are you at?
I'm in LA in Echo Park.
Oh shit. Are you living in LA now?
Yeah, I've been here for like 3 years.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I used to stomp around Echo Park all the fucking time, man. It's nice. I'm just down in Orange County now.
Oh, hell yeah.
But that's dope. That's cool. I'm glad you're in LA.
It's pretty shitty now with like COVID time. So you did the right thing going out there because it's like it's too dense in Echo Park. Also, like yesterday I went to go get breakfast at Millie's and it's like I fucking see people there. I don't like seeing people that I know out. I just like hate it. I want to see like senior citizens and like, you know, like I just want to be like away from everything.
You just want to see a bunch of old people all the time.
Yeah.
Millie's is a spot we used to go to all the time in the early Bronx days. We used to pull our tour van up to Millie's and just stumble out and get breakfast there. Shout out to Millie's. That's definitely one of the greatest spots to eat in LA.
Oh yeah.
When did so you moved 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years ago.
What was it like coming from Canada?
Oh man, it's so different. Just the typical like naive, nice Canadian girl thinking like all these people are so nice and want to be my friends and like they're so genuine out here. And then like all of a sudden everyone's like got some hidden agenda and like they're like fake and whatever, not a good person. So like that whole experience, the typical like watch out who you hang out with when you get to LA, like that was me, just fell right into that trap.
Welcome to Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's nice. What was you grew up on the East Coast of Canada?
Toronto.
Awesome. Cool. Toronto's got an awesome music scene, man. A lot of good people out in Toronto. What was it like growing up there?
There was an amazing music scene in Toronto. Like everybody I knew was in a band. Everybody was in a band, but like not just in a band, in a fucking good band. Like everyone was in a sick ass band. And there was a lot of different sounds, a lot of punk, like new wavy, like, you know, synth pop. Then there's like metal shit too. There was always shows. Like all I did in my free time was go see bands. I'm pretty sure I've seen your band and like bought a t-shirt. I think at like what was the venue? The Docks or something? Like it was called like the Docks back in the day.
Docks. There's Lee's. Is it Lee's Palace?
Palace, yeah.
Lee's Palace is the fucking spot, and the Opera House too. Yeah, those are two fucking good clubs.
Hell yeah. Yeah, great venues. Like there was so many shows, and awesome venues. And I started a punk band when I was 18 with a bunch of girls called Dentata. That's why my name is Dan Dentata. And I played guitar in that band. And we were like punk, metal, experimental, and played a lot of shows in Toronto. We never released anything, but we played a lot of shows.
I was curious because I was looking around. I was trying to find Dentata online. I was trying to find some demos or some live footage or something. I couldn't find shit, man. I was
You gotta
bummed.
dig. There's like 2 or 3 songs on it on the Dentata Bandcamp, and then there's a couple live videos on YouTube, like of us, like I'll send you some shit after.
Yeah.
There's like us playing in a sex dungeon and like a couple other crazy shows. But that being said, there is like, we recorded 2 albums, but like the record store guy in Toronto, like was jerking us around, never ended up like putting out the vinyl. So we actually never released our music, and then we broke up. But I've been talking to the girls this year, and like I want to play guitar again, and like I want to play with them again, and like we want to release these 2 albums that we made. Like, why not? It's like a time capsule. It's been sitting for 10 years like in a fucking storage unit.
Yeah, you got to put that shit out 100%.
So it's like, and like those songs are still timeless. Like they're just, I think, as good as they were 10 years ago. They're not like, I think that it would be really fun to like release a time capsule album and then reunite and play a couple of shows, and who knows, maybe we could like write some more or whatever. Like I'm so excited to do that, and they are too. And like it's just so pure to my heart, like those days, my band days, with the girls, and like it was such a free time. We were just so wild and free, and just like nothing was impossible. We had like giant coffin on stage with a vagina on the front, like our friends would crawl out of it, and like it was just really wild, fun, special
classic
time.
classic vaginal coffin. Can't go wrong with that. Right on. Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, I would definitely do that. I know there's a lot of people out there that would really dig it, especially kind of where you're at musically now. It'd be cool to trace that back and listen to where it all came from.
Yeah, exactly. I think it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's dope. What did you grow up listening to, like before you discovered punk rock? Like, did you have like, were you like a pop kid? Did you like listen to, rock and roll, old stuff? What were you into?
Earliest memories are like Whitney Houston and just like things my parents had, like Cranberries and stuff. Then it was like Britney Spears. Britney Spears was like my god. Like my mom took me to see her first tour, Baby One More Time, and I swear, like it felt like I saw Jesus Christ in the flesh right in front of me. Like, and so it was like Britney Spears, but then I don't know why, but then also Marilyn Manson and Limp Bizkit. So like S Club 7, Britney Spears, like singing pop songs, and then just like insanely obsessed with Marilyn Manson at 11 years old. And Limp Bizkit, Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water. That album like changed
Classic
my
album.
world. Yeah, like I really feel like I just like absorbed that like a sponge. Like it's a fucked up bone and a fucked up, and all of that shit just was like, I think it really like shifted me as a kid. Like it was like, this is how I feel, this is like resonates with me. And then but the Manson shit I don't get, because I had a pretty, like, this was before anything bad ever happened to me in my life, and I had no reason to be inclined to any darkness at all. So like now my life makes sense, it's all darkness, but like before I'm like, I still loved like this dark creepy shit when it was all like roses and lollipops. So like I don't know where that came from. No one influenced me to do that. I didn't know anyone else that liked Limp Bizkit or Marilyn Manson. It was just me alone.
As an artist, you're very sonically, visually pushing boundaries and perceptions all the time, which is really cool to me. I was wondering, just kind of out the gate, like what does art kind of mean to you?
Art is teachings, it's like I look at people like Eminem, like people like that, where I feel like they did so much more than just make songs that people like to hear. There was so much more that came with it, and so much you could emotionally attach yourself to. And and see yourself in and learn for yourself. Like, this is how to be free and accept yourself and live your truth, and go wherever you want in this life. And so like I always looked at what I do with that kind of guideline of what I want to achieve as well. So I don't want to just like make cool songs that people like to hear, or like make some video that gets a bunch of plays or numbers at the bottom. I'm just like, how can I do what I've got out of from my favorite artists? Like, I want to do that for other people as well, but I want to do it in a different way. I want to do it in a way more like in your face, honest, real way about the shit that like we're not talking about, or that like I haven't heard anyone talk about for my own experiences. So it's using my art is a way to kind of like, it's therapy based in many ways. Like, it's therapy for myself to process the shit that I've experienced in my life, and where it sits inside me and lets me, release a lot of it. And I want that for other people as well.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it's been rad to kind of see how your music has evolved, since the Dentata came into fruition. And that was, when did the metal band break up?
It was like 10 years ago.
Okay, cool. So your first track was released, what, 2016? Was that 18?
I released like 2 pop songs around sporadically.
Yeah,
like
that's that.
2016, I released like 2 pop songs.
Yeah, that's Up and Down and Head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because I was gonna ask you about that, because I mean they're dope, they're cool, but then there's a big shift when Trust No Dick drops in 2017. So what was that like, getting to that point between those 2 songs, and then finally it feels like you were just like, hey, I'm gonna kick the door off of this thing and just go for it? Was that kind of the idea?
That is why I don't ever want to like get rid of those 2 songs, or like, like, oh, those didn't happen, whenever. Like, I think they're so important to be there because it shows you this journey I've been on. I've been trying to like do what I'm doing now for the last 10 years. But what I did wrong was I didn't just shut the fuck up and do it myself and not talk to anyone about it. I tried to get other people to align with me and see what I was seeing and like do what I want. And so like those 2 pop songs, I really feel like are people who are like, you can do this, so you should sound pretty, you should be like gentle and like listenable and safe. And it's like, guess what, just because someone can do something doesn't mean they should. Like, a lot of people have wanted me to act a certain way in my life, and it's like, yeah, I could do that, but does that mean I fucking should? No. So anyway, I did those songs and gave it a shot, because it was like, you know what, I don't know, I don't want to just feel like I'm like this difficult person to work with and I'm like stubborn, so like I'll give it a shot, why not, what the fuck, doing that. And then it's just like, it just doesn't feel like me, it just doesn't feel right, I don't know. And I was kind of in this place where it was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, the people around me at the time, I had Trust No Dick back then as well. I wrote that song like a long time ago, but everyone was like, it's not good, you're not good at rapping, you shouldn't say stuff like this, it's a little too harsh, like, maybe more gentle. Also, just like, it's just no rapping, like you should just be singing and shit, right? So I'm like I have these pop songs, I got this Trust No Dick song in my pocket, where it's like, I mean, that's who I like, what I actually want to do, and like that was just me being me. And then that really just like gave me the confidence I needed, because I think, when you're surrounded by a bunch of people who are constantly like, nah, we don't have any ideas, we suck, what, let's be boring, then it's just like you start to feel that way too. So it kind of like reignited me, and then I felt so excited, and could actually see me being me and like it being possible. And so then as soon as that all happened, I just like went like, you know what? Fuck all this. I'm doing me exactly how I want it. And I'm just gonna like not listen to anyone and just do it myself. And then it finally started coming out.
Hell yeah, that's fucking awesome. I think it's so important too, as an artist. A lot of times people get so wrapped up in trying to figure everything out right away. And sometimes one of the greatest gifts you can kind of figure out is what you don't want to do. You know what I mean? And it's like when you're put in those situations where you're getting experience, you're recording, you're doing these songs, but there's a voice inside your head saying, hey, this isn't really what I want to do. You know what I mean? And so slowly but surely you figure that out. And then you have the opportunity, you get the nudge, you get the confidence in your own work from other artists, and you get the green light in your head that just says, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And then you're off to the races. You know, that's really cool, because it's something that, you know, speaks to me a lot with your music is the confidence that you have in yourself and your ability. And it's really, really cool because with that confidence, I think there's also a lack of compromise, which is, you know, that those two together are awesome, you know? So it feels like once you dropped TND, that it was kind of like you kind of had a clear vision of what you wanted to do, you know, moving forward. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, well, I think I had the clear vision all along, but I think that was when I took it into my own hands and,
Yeah.
you know, decided to just like Fred Durst says, if you want something done right, you just do it yourself. And it's like really true. Like, okay, I'm not going to be able to like describe this vision to somebody. I'm just going to have to do it and then they'll see. And that's when I like it finally clicked in after all that time.
You know, vision is an awesome word to associate with your art, because I want to talk about your videos. One of the things that is super cool about your work is aesthetically, it's like insane. You know, it's like it's beautiful. It's kind of uncomfortable. It pushes so many different boundaries. It kind of brings you in between like real life and almost like a fantasy or like a weird reality. You know, so when you are like releasing music, when you're releasing songs, you have such a huge visual aspect to what you do. How important is that to you?
Oh man, just as important as everything else. Cause I look at it as like an entire concept. And like, yeah, the art has so much meaning and backstory to it. And like I pay attention to every single detail. Like every move is like calculated and thought about and everything has a purpose.
That's
Like it's very
awesome.
much performance art, I think, as a whole. And like, yeah, the video is just as important as the song to me.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think it adds such a layer, you know, to what you do, because it is like, you know, nowadays it's really hard with people staring at their phones and people like, you know, people are just, you know, constantly watching shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really, really hard to get people to stay like focused or to like stand out and be like, oh shit, that's something I haven't seen before. That's something that catches your eye. And you really do that with the videos you do. And it's like super fucking dope. Like when you, are you coming up with treatments and all that on your own as you're doing, or do you have like a kind of, you know, team you work with, or is this all you?
I did a video for Apology, and that was the first time that I didn't micromanage every single aspect of everything. Which was a little bit of a lesson for me to continue to micromanage every aspect of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I usually, yeah, like spin myself out because I'm like the styling, the concept, every fucking thing. I'm like doing it. That's been a process, learning like what to let other people handle and what
Yeah,
not, you know. But like as far as creative, yeah, no, it's me 100%.
that's awesome. Yeah, it's really hard sometimes to let go, especially when you have such, you know, a detailed vision of what you want to accomplish or what you want it to look like or sound like. And you know, the apology video is awesome, but I totally get how, you know,
You
sometimes
can see how it's a little different from my other videos.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, for sure, for sure. But I mean, it's still sick, you know. It came out great, you know, but it definitely has I don't know, a label shine to it, you know,
I
maybe
was
it's
gonna
got,
say like polished,
yeah, yeah,
label.
it's a little polished, but it looks fucking cool. It's all good, you know?
Well, and with that, it's like at least I can, say that like I was a good sport and, like always try. I'm never like gonna cut anything out. I'm always gonna give it a shot and give it a try. And like I'm constantly learning. And I think I really like when I'm in complete control of the concept and everything, because like this shit always means so much to me. Like when I was coming up with the Pantychrist treatment, I'm like sobbing because it's like so much pain in my life. It's like I almost didn't even want to come up with the Pantychrist treatment because I knew it was gonna rock me emotionally because it has so much like heavy deep meaning in my life. So it was almost like, oh, I don't even want to think about it because I'm gonna get like triggered as fuck for like a week after this. But like that's the way it has to be for what I do, because that's what it is for me. It's like meaningful, weighted shit, and I'm prepared for that.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope that you can take it on like that. I mean, it's pretty cool. You know, you've gone through a lot of pain in the past. You've talked about, you've been open with it, and to see you creatively, artistically kind of flip the script on it and give yourself back the power is something that's really inspiring and really cool. You know, does it feel good to kind of be seen as a survivor, you know, more than a victim nowadays, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've always looked at it in that way. Like in my opinion, like abused people are not the victims, the abusers are the victims. Because like if you think about it, like one person who's like minding their own business, going about life, and then they get assaulted, like that person was just minding their own business, being a good person. But the other person who's like a psycho, like I'm gonna fucking do this horrible thing right now. It's like that's a victim. Like, God, what is sick in your head? You are sick. You are a victim. Like you are weak. You are unwell. Like that's where all of the shame and blame should be going, not the person who experienced it. So yeah, like I look at myself as like just a superhero, so resilient, been able to overcome so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that's one of the reasons why your fans, you know, really, you know, identify with you, you know, because you are so open about everything and you have been through so much and you channel it in such a like transformational and powerful way creatively. It's really, you know, it's really something to take in. And I think that it gives a lot of people out there who are going through shit a lot of strength, you know, and like it's kind of cool that in my head at least, I love how artistic it is because it's not necessarily just about everything you've been through and the survival and all of that, but it's also about like the outlet and like the creativity and like doing like self-expression is something that's like lost nowadays. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there's so much strength in that. And I really love, you know, that you put yourself out there like that. And I think people pick up on it. And I think it's going to inspire a lot of people in future generations. I think it's cool. It's got to feel good as a female to kind of be, you know, part of that next generation of badass, you know, artists who are coming up. You know, if you kind of do you allow yourself to kind of sit in that spot, or are you just kind of going with the flow right now, creating while you can and trying to move along, you know, in your day-to-day life? Or do you kind of feel like you said, you're a superhero, you want to do superhero shit, you want to make sure that your voice is out there for everyone to hear, and if you know anyone needs anything, that they can lean on your music or your videos or whatever you're doing next to kind of, you know, give them strength.
Yeah, or me, like I spend a lot of time talking in my DMs with people. I created a Discord group for people who have complex PTSD that like my music. And yeah, like being there for them as a person as well. It's my fucking purpose. Like it gives me a reason. Sometimes it's like, God, all the shit that I've been through and experienced, like I don't even know how I can keep breathing on this earth. Sometimes it's so much horrible repeated things have happened to me. And like this gives me purpose. This is my purpose. It gives me a reason to justify having all of that shit because I know I can use it for good and use it to show other people they can overcome it too. Like, this is also for me. Like, Dana Dentata isn't me. That's some other bitch that I created when I was 18 years old. Like, there's Dana Marie is a totally different person who's lived a different life. But Dana Dentata, like, her name means vagina with teeth. Like, I made her as this like superhero protector of myself. And I think it's become that for other people too, just because it worked for me. So it's like working for other people too. And like, I mean, I even use it. I even like, you know, sometimes I'm like, I need Dana Dentata right now to help me get through this. And like put her music on. It's like a different person to me sometimes. But yeah, I want to, like, I'm doing an album, Pantychrist Performance. I want to perform the album front to back, and like I want to have a meet and greet, but I don't want to have a meet and greet that's like you pay for this and get a picture. Like, I want to have a healing circle. I want to connect with everyone who's affected by my music, and I want us to like hold hands and share stories and uplift each other and like provide an actual physical space to be there for each other as well. And I just want to keep building on that because I feel responsible in a way to do that stuff too with like my content and what it's about. You know, I want to provide more and give more.
Yeah, and have like a more of a like a real aspect to it too, you know. It's not just about, you know, the persona or whatever, you know. So I think that's dope. I think that's all super fucking cool. You know, musically speaking, as things progress, you know, the Daddy Loves You EP, Dana Vision 2018, the last couple years, at least in my eyes, a ton of people have been discovering your music, you know, just it's been massive. And how was that for you as it's happening, you know, because you're kind of going and, you know, all of a sudden you start kind of popping up everywhere, you know, people were like, who the fuck is this chick? She's so badass. What's going on? So
Yes.
what was that like for you as it was finally happening? Because, you know, outside of all the chaos of your life and all that stuff, I'm assuming you're still an artist who, you know, wants to succeed in what she does and all that stuff. So it's all finally happening. You're getting the notice, you're getting the respect you deserve. What was that like?
I was so on fire that like I just couldn't stop. Like, it was just
Yeah.
like, cool, keep going, keep going, keep going. Like, I was in like pure survival mode because I felt like I'd been given a second chance at life. I got out of like this shitty relationship. I was in Toronto. I wasn't doing shit. You know, it was around the time when those pop songs were happening. And then I just felt like I got a second chance and I was not going to fuck it up. It was like, you have a second chance to do what you want to do in life and make your life how you want it to be and get what you want. So you got to do that. And I just like had a fire under my ass. I did not stop. I was hustling the whole time. I was like on fucking jets with Kanye West, like doing all this like insane shit. My life changed so much. And I remember there was this one artist, Theophilus London. He was around a lot for that time. And he kept saying to me, remember this moment, remember these moments, remember this time. You're going to miss this for the rest of your life. This moment, like this time, like you're always going to look back on this and remember how special it is. Cause you only get this time once where you're like the new, like everyone's like, who is this, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was always trying to be aware of that and like, okay, but it just was I just feel like I blinked and now I'm here, you know? It was like really fucking crazy. Just like,
Yeah, it must have been. I can't imagine. How did the Kanye thing come up? He just heard the shit and was into it or what?
trust no dick. Yeah. Loved Trust No Dick. And yeah, I had started putting on shows and you know, I had the Demons in my show and that was going
Yeah.
crazy and he
When
loved
the
that.
demon came out, the demon was next level. The demon fucked everybody up, I feel like.
I feel like I do not get the credit I deserve for like every bitch uses a fucking demon in her art now. Like, I swear to God, like everybody does this. All these artists have the prosthetic horn people and the vampire people and all that. I'm just like, okay, I set that off.
You did.
I did. I know I did.
You set the demon aesthetic off for sure. For sure. No one does it better. You can still watch, like, you still trip out on the videos, man. They look so fucking dope. Who shot that shit? Because it looks great.
I had different people shoot it every time.
Okay.
All the videos are different. I had my friend shooting a lot of the VHS stuff. She did all of that, but The music videos are different people every time. And I've had a bunch of different demons as well. The demons are like, there could be like a Netflix special for the demons, because that shit ended up not just being art. It ended up turning into real life as well. That was pretty insane.
I bet. Definitely need a Netflix special for the demons for
Yeah.
sure. What was I was looking at some of the stuff you've done over the years, and one of the things that stood out to me was the 2018 Pornhub Awards.
Yes.
What was the vibe that night? What was that scene all about?
Well, Kanye creative directed that award show.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's why I played, because he asked me to play that, and he picked everyone who was playing. So
When that moment happens and you're just like, yo, Kanye just asked me to play the Pornhub Awards, that's like something that you feels like you wouldn't even be able to like dream up, you know. That's like,
yeah.
that's just out of control. And the video looks dope. I mean, it looks fucking cool. What was the performance aspect of it like? Was it kind of just like whatever, or was it, because I think everyone has their own, you know, everyone's got their minds made up that like, you know, AVN Awards, Pornhub Awards, it's just this, you know, Sodom and Gomorrah free for all of just chaos. You know,
Yes.
was there a little bit of that, or was it pretty, you know, professional?
It was pretty professional and organized. Yeah. 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 There wasn't that much craziness. Although all the porn stars wanted to fuck my demon.
Oh, that's
That was a thing.
That's a great sentence. Yeah, that's
Yeah, they were all thirsty for him. I guess like the prosthetics and shit, I don't know, does it for some people.
yeah, it makes sense. I could see that happening. That's amazing. So, you know, so going into Panty Christ, you know, which came out last year or September, right? Sometime around then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What going into making that record, what's your writing process like? You know, like do you write lyrics all the time, or are you writing to music like as it comes in, or kind of how do you you know approach making an album?
I really like to get inspired off the music to write the lyrics. For the most part, I'd say like I need the beat to inspire me, because I feel like when a beat is really good, like I'll write a song in like 30 seconds, but if the beat is like not that good, then I'm just like, I'm struggling here. So yeah, I needed to go and find all these different beats that I really liked. And then also a lot of the times I did just like go to a session with the producers, and I sat with them and explained what my vision was and what I wanted for the album and what it meant to me, yada yada, for like an hour. And then we make the song. And that's like probably like 4 or 5 songs on the album at least happened that way, where it was like the producer took my vision and intention and like made the beat from that, and then I wrote the lyrics after.
That's dope. That's dope. Is there a lot of different producers on the album? Is it like pretty much a different producer for every track, or do you have like a couple?
Just about.
Just about?
Yeah.
That's
Like
pretty cool.
I work consistently with my engineer. The guy who records my vocals, also makes beats. Like he did Daddy Loves You. He did a couple on my new album. But I was just bopping around different people, like new experience. I feel like sound wise I could go anywhere and I'm not limited. So I was like a little worried to just work with one person and have like one kind of sound. I wanted to like, you know, spread myself out and like experiment. And I'm glad I did that, because I got a bunch of different sounds.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, you know, I've always kind of been a little bit jealous of that kind of setup, you know, because I think that's really cool, because you get to work with just a bunch of different artists, you know. I mean, it's a collaborative effort. And, you know, it's like, I think sometimes people get stuck in an album having to have like one consistent like sound or vibe or like backbone through the whole thing. And sometimes it's just rad if it's just a bunch of different ideas and a bunch of different sounds and a bunch of different people, you know.
Yeah.
And And the record is fucking awesome. So congratulations. You know, it's really fucking good. It's really good. I was wondering, now that it's out, are you gonna tour on it at some point, you think? Are you gonna?
Yeah.
You got some
There was
dates?
like, there's all kinds of like shit going on behind the scenes, but I absolutely should have had a tour for Pantychrist. And for me to not be able to like utilize the performance aspect for the album to even like convey it was very strange for me. So that's why I'm like, okay, wait a second, like I'm my lights are on again, like I got to make sure this is done. So I'm going to start by doing the Pantychrist album front to back end of March for a show, and then now working out a bunch of different tours. Like I'm ready to tour. I'm going to be touring this year, doing Europe in the summer and all that, so I will be able to finally do a proper Pantychrist tour.
Hell yeah, that's exciting. Is it pretty rad being up on stage and just, I imagine, just seeing the look on people's faces, just getting their minds blown? It's just got to be fucking amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I also like, even in 2019 when I was like touring Australia and shit, like I didn't have any of my music out yet really, except Trust No Dick and like, you know, Dana Vision. So now it's cool to the shows I've played in the last year. Like I actually see girls like singing the lyrics and like wearing my face paint in the crowd and like, you know, meeting those people. I try to like bring presents, like little Barbies or whatever for girls and stuff like that. Like that means so much to me. I also really enjoy like I played Louisville, Kentucky, and Daytona Beach festivals, and it's just like I love seeing these like old men in the crowd just like just like smiling and like loving it. Like I love that so much. Like I always shout out Eileen Warnos during all my sets. I play clips of her quotes like in between my songs, and I always give her a shout out, and like the whole there was like, yeah, Eileen, and I love that. I love that. I love like really like a lot of men, you know, just their looks on their faces where it's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be enjoying this, but I am, and I don't know how to feel about it. There's a lot of those looks. I just like really enjoy those too.
Yeah, those are great. There's one video I saw where you're dropping the double-headed baby on chains, and there's like a security guard in front, and he's just like he just does not know what to do.
Yeah, they don't know what to do with themselves, and that's really entertaining for me. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's entertaining for everybody, I think. You know, it's like you have such a wide group, you know, fans, audiences. You got juggalos, punk rockers, metalheads, club kids. You know, it's a super inclusive, you know, kind of like thing you got going here. So obviously that's something you want, right? If you want the music to be available for everybody, you know?
Yeah, I really want that. That was really important to me. I said to like my label, even like, you know, when we're talking about like tours for me to go on, they're like, what about like this girl and this girl and this girl? And I was like, this isn't fucking Lilith Fair, okay? I want to be with the boys. I want to do what the fucking boys are doing. You know, I just because I have like a female empowerment message doesn't mean that I'm like gonna go I want to have like a knitting party. Like I still want to do the same shit, and I think it's like even more impactful for me to be in those spaces where you wouldn't necessarily think to put me, because I think it makes more of a difference there.
Yeah, I agree. You know, what do you think about, do you fuck with Madonna? How do you feel about Madonna?
I fucking love Madonna. Yes.
Yeah.
That was the best compliment. With Kanye was like, you're like Madonna, but you're Dana. You're like 2020 Madonna. And like that was such a compliment for me, because I know he was talking about as far as like breaking barriers of constructs of things that she was doing, you know, with religion and sexuality.
It's rad. You know, you're doing something that doesn't really happen a lot, you know, and it's really cool. And that's, you know, it reminded me a lot of Madonna. Another random, you're probably gonna hate me for this, but another one was when I was listening to Pantychrist this morning. Do you ever listen to the first Korn record?
No.
Okay, so Jonathan Davis, okay, you got to go back and you got to listen to it because he say what you want about Corn, okay, and I'm
Also corn. I think they're sick.
yeah. That
I
first
just never
record's
got like
amazing.
I never like I know some of the hits. I just never like got deep into the music.
So he's got a song, the last song on that first record is a song called Daddy, and it's like this 17-minute song that like
That
he
okay,
he
someone showed
cries
that to
in.
me.
Yeah, he cries in and shit. And he's been a guy too that's also just like thrown his shit out there and like turned it into art and like helped a lot of people with it. And I also got like a vibe of that when I was listening to Pantychrist this morning. I was like, man, this is fucking, it's cool. There's like a deeper meaning to everything you're doing. And I think I just think that that's something that can't be understated, you know, because you have, you know, the visual aspect. People who want to get shocked can get shocked. People who want to just, you know, party down, listen to your music, crank it up, they can do that too. But there's also a whole nother layer underneath it, that you know, is something that I just think is really powerful. And I think that's kind of where the Madonna thing comes in too. You know, it's like, for me as a fan of music, I'm really excited to see where you go next. You know, have you thought about that yet? Have you thought about what kind of your next move is?
Yeah. I think that I really got out like the I felt like I was screaming in a padded room my whole life, and now I don't feel that way anymore because I
Yeah.
got to do this album. So yeah, I have been thinking about what's next for me, and like I feel like I have achieved, like, you know, a girl telling me she went to my show in the UK with her boyfriend, and during the set realized he was abusive to her and left him in the middle of my set. That all happened. I'm like, job well done. This is like what I came here to do, you know. I feel like I'm accomplishing that, and I'm actually beginning to work on another project, but I almost like don't want to say what it is because people jack my ideas like within the
Yeah.
second I do it. Like I did my album as my pregnancy in September, October, November, December, January, February. 6 months ago, and I've already seen it redone for three other people's albums already in this time period, which like, you know, I think that right now it's the TikTok thing, it's the online living. We are like not in reality and we're just seeing things on Instagram. So we don't like think anymore or create anymore. So I'm like scared to even say what this next thing is, but it's like completely different. I feel like I love that I was able to like take a bunch of like rap and trap shit and like throw it into this like prestigious metal world with integrity of men. You know, I love that I was able to do that, and that's sick. And so I'm gonna be doing something very similar to that, but it's like gonna be a completely different shift from anything you'd expect.
Oh man, that's fucking exciting. That's really exciting. Yeah, I'm stoked for you. I was wondering, you know, going along with you know, what's next for you and everything you want to accomplish artistically, have you ever thought about acting at all?
Yes. That's funny you say that because I um I've auditioned for a couple movies and shows. I auditioned twice for Euphoria and was almost on that show.
Oh shit, I could
So
see
I'm
that.
really butthurt that I didn't get that role because I feel like that would have been amazing for me. And it was also like a stripper that hates her boyfriend. It was like so perfect for me. I don't know who ended up playing the role, whatever, but yeah, I almost did that. I've auditioned for a Gaspar Noé film before, and I'm in The Weeknd's biggest music video. It's called The Hills. I slapped the shit out of him in that.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've like dabbled in shit, and I was so bummed about not getting the Euphoria show that I was like, fuck, like, well, if I'm bummed about like these random auditions that are just like people are asking me to do, then why don't I actually like try and like go for the auditions myself and like put myself out there and do that, because I do enjoy that expression as well. Like I like to act in my music videos too.
Yeah, it seems like a super kind of natural progression, you know, for you, because it just feels like you'd kill it. You know, it was something I was thinking about. I was like, you know, that would probably be pretty rad, you know, and hopefully, you know, you get whatever the next Euphoria is going to be. That'd be pretty fucking sick. I'm sure you'll land something at some point, you know.
Yeah, I need that next thing.
What outside of music brings you happiness? What do you like to do outside of music and art?
That's really what really brings me joy. I'm just like, I just want to paint Barbies or like make stuff with my hands or um anything to do with music. I guess like the non-artistic thing I enjoy is I rescued a pit bull.
Hell yeah.
So I love dogs, specifically pit bulls, because I feel like, you know, they're very misunderstood and people are scared of them, but they're the sweetest, most affectionate breed. And I just relate in many ways. It's like also like, you know, they've just been hurt so many times. I'm just like my dog, I'm like, I feel you, girl. Like I've been hurt too. We're like PTSD sisters, you know. So yeah, I just been like taking her to the beach and you know, being dog mom, doing that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I love pit bulls. I had a rescue pit bull for like 12 years, and she
Oh
passed
yeah?
like, yeah, she passed like a year and a half ago. It was, oh God, it was so heartbreaking. It was brutal, but
That's
uh,
so painful. Losing a
yeah.
family member feels
Oh
like
yeah, yeah. But they're the
oh,
best dogs. They're the fucking best
they're the
dogs.
fucking best. Yes.
Before I let you go, do you have any new music coming out this year?
Yeah, I have one. I guess I'm trying to see if it would like make sense for it to be on like a deluxe edition of Christ. I have a couple new songs on deck waiting to go. So it'll either be on a deluxe edition kind of thing or it'll be like a single coming right after. And I collaborated with this group that it's a guy and a girl, they're a couple. I did a song with them. They're called Holy Wars. So I think that's coming out in March, mid-March. Um, and I got a video for free for my album. I'm still like doing some video stuff for that as well.
Awesome.
So some of that, and then yeah, I have about like 3 new songs. It's gonna come
Hell
out in the
yeah.
next 3, 4
Oh, I
months.
know what I wanted to ask you. What's up with your Kid Rock shit? What's
Yeah, right.
let's talk about Kid Rock,
Let's
because
talk about it.
you got Cowboy, and then you got D Stock 99 on the new record. Where's that coming from?
Yeah, I have been obsessed with Woodstock 99, that festival, my whole life. And I think like, you know, Limp Bizkit, ICP, Kid Rock, everything, DMX, the performances there. I also am just so fascinated by the fact that like I've been obsessed with that because it was also the most like there was rape and, you know, sexual assault and like fires and people dying and it was like so horrible as well. And it's also this thing I'm obsessed with. It's just so interesting to pick through in my mind because I'm like, you know, like in a way everything that was going on at this festival is like what was going on in my life, like all this horrible shit. But I think for me it's like I see those things in the same way I see like Stone Cold Steve Austin is like I want to be that. I want to be that like masculine and like fearless and just like free and powerful. And I feel like it's such a good representation of that. And so just like not giving a fuck and being free. Like I want to know what it's like to walk down an alley to my car in the middle of the night and not have to think something's going to happen to me. And like I think that's how Kid Rock feels all the time. So it's kind of like LARPing for me. Originally, we were going to do my third single video was D Stock 99, and I wanted to be, you know, LARPing on my masculine shit, but also like remind everyone that like I politically, as far as that, I see everybody's side for what it is. And I respect everyone's own opinion, and I don't see myself falling anywhere. I don't see myself anywhere. I see myself with everyone. And that's really what it means to me. But, you know, also like, I understand that a lot of things have changed in the last couple years. And I think that like, I decided to cancel doing a video for that because I say Kid Rock, and like, I know what I mean. I'm talking about something very deep, you know, and also it's like purposefully the last song on my album because I felt like it was so much like heaviness and the dark side of all this, but like what's the light side of all of this too? So that's what it was for me, is like, you have it too. They can't take that from you, you know? All these misogynists and abusers, like they can't take that from you. You also have that power, and you can use it in a better, safer, healthier way to boom up yourself. That's really what it's about for me. It's not about like, you know, all this other stupid shit of the Twitter and the Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And like, also like, no, I'm Canadian. So it's like, this is not, I was like, oh, you have to like pick a side or something over here. And like, people are so like mad or whatever. So I just don't think that people have the patience or the ability to look at art for like its deeper meaning and like what I'm actually trying to say. I think that everyone would go, Kid Rock, racist, Kid Rock, piece of shit. And I just like know that's where people are at. And so I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna try and like come through.
That's
with
such a bummer. It would have been so dope to see you as Kid Rock.
I know, but I don't think anyone gets it. And I think in the end, the only person I would be like hurting is myself, because I would be so frustrated with these people who like don't understand what I'm talking about or how prolific it actually is.
Yeah.
And it would like waste my time, you know, because it's like he's trending on thing, and all these people who hate him so much, whatever, like they probably are reading like one headline and like being like, that's that. And I don't want to be a part of that. I've already experienced what it's like to dip my toe in that. And I don't like it.
It sucks. Yeah. You don't want to like release like a piece of art that you're super proud of and have it be like reduced to like idiots in the comment section. You know what I mean? Like you don't, that sucks.
I don't. And I don't think my album deserves that. I don't think my art deserves that. And I think that like, that's just how simple people are right now and ready to go. People just want anything they possibly can to like say something negative so they can feel better about their shitty life. And like, I'm not going to give them that. I feel like it's just giving them that on a silver platter. So
yeah,
it's shitty, but I also think it's just smart for my own mental health. Like if this was like 5 years ago, I'd probably be like, fuck it, I'm going to show them all and I'm going to do it. But like with like the way things are right now, I'm very much like, whoa, I've never seen more hate and divide ever in life, and couldn't have imagined this much.
Yeah, it's crazy. Me either. And it's like, I think simple was, such a correct like term to use, because that's just really what it feels like. And it's like, I think that we're pretty fortunate enough as artists, I think, to have, a kind of well-rounded view on the world. You meet a lot of different people with a lot of different takes and a lot of different ideas. And, it's all good, but it's like the world is not like that right now. Like it is just super short fused, super simple, closed-minded. And it's lame, man. It sucks,
It fucking sucks. Also, like, being an artist, I feel like so much of having meaning in your art is about like, making people use their brains to rub together to like discover things about yourself. And that's not happening anymore. And that's so sad. Like it's making me rethink how I make art and what kind of art I want to make because of this shit. Because I don't want to like make a song that means something. I don't know. I just feel like it's such a weird time, and it's not, I don't want to be a part of that stupid little battle. No. I don't want to be a part of that. So like artistically, I'm not going there either.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, Dana, I appreciate your time here on the Say the Jerry podcast. Thank you so much. I'm glad you have found your inner Kid Rock. I'm glad you are surviving and creating super meaningful, exciting, boundary pushing art and music. Nothing but love and continued success to you in the future. And thanks a lot for being on the podcast. Appreciate it.
There's definitely like 16 or 17-year-old Dana walking around in a Bronx shirt. So she's hyped right now. It was awesome talking to you.
Right on. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Oh, yeah. That's a wrap on episode 31 of the Sailor Jerry podcast, ladies and gentlemen. As always, nothing but respect and gratitude to our guest, the one and only Dana Dentata. Dana, it was awesome talking with you. Thank you very much for your time. You guys can follow her at Dana Dentata on Instagram, of course. You can follow Roadrunner Records as well. That is the label that she's on. A lot of great bands and tunes coming out of Roadrunner these days, so check them out. You can follow me at 213 Mattman. Of course, you better be following at Sailor Jerry. You know, peace and love to the Ukraine, to all of Europe, to everyone out there. We appreciate you. And don't forget that Sailor Jerry spiced rum is made the old school way, 92 proof, bold and smooth as hell. We'll see you in 14 days. Peace.